LaGrone in Tampa. We are getting new insights into Florida's year-long grand jury on illegal immigration, starting with a Florida sheriff who recently provided testimony. It's been a little over a year since a statewide grand jury began investigating the impacts of illegal immigration in Florida.
How many times were you interviewed?
I know once.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd now talking about the rare ongoing state probe.
You've been on board with it since day one?
I am, from what I'm familiar with, I agree with.
Judd, a popular Florida sheriff known for his blunt quips and no-nonsense approach to crime and criminals,
We know that he had enough brain cells to commit murder.
is a staunch conservative in a rural and predominantly Republican county where the grand jury has spent the last year hearing testimony from law enforcement and insiders, from the role human smugglers and the drug cartel play to federal loopholes and the impacts on migrant children sent here without a parent. Judd, who has traveled the country advocating for tougher immigration policies, was among the first people interviewed as part of the state's investigation.
I can't talk about my grand jury testimony at all because it's still confidential. But I can tell you, as a sheriff, the problems that I'm seeing day to day, week to week, year in and year out. And the people who don't believe it's a border crisis are just not in touch with reality.
To date, the state's grand jury has issued 5 reports offering wide-range recommendations to curb illegal immigration into the state, from taxing migrants who send money back home to creating new mandates limiting help for children. The panel, which estimates there are now nearly 1 million people living in Florida illegally, has also recommended holding employers who hire undocumented workers more accountable, while criminalizing those who help transport or house them.
How do you enforce a law like that? I mean, without sort of coming across like you're targeting people.
Well, I would never target someone who is not violating the law. The way you would come across somebody would be if a violation were occurring, i.e. you're chasing a criminal and someone's hiding the criminal. But let's make it abundantly clear. We're not the immigration police.
There's a great deal of fear and there's a great deal of uncertainty.
John Berry is an immigration attorney with the Orlando Center for Justice. He says the state's grand jury, coupled with new state laws cracking down on illegal immigration in Florida, has already forced many migrants to leave. He believes the statewide grand jury is less about creating effective policy and more about cementing political ambitions.
It is not designed or tailored to address unlawful immigration. It doesn't care about that. It is only trying to score political points to satisfy the presidential ambitions of the governor.
Do you understand that people might interpret what's happening in Florida as, yeah, they're coming after us?
If you illegally enter a country, any country, you're going to be subject to the laws and the rules and the regulations that occur. If you don't want to worry about that, don't go into the country illegally.
And this grand jury has been extended to April 2024. And while the panel has made a number of recommendations, they still need to be presented to and approved by the state legislature. I'm Katie LaGrone for the Florida 24 Network.